too. They will all be here for you on Comics TV, Comics TV, Comics TV, Comics TV. Fantasy and enemy, what's it gonna be now? Alternative, mainstream too. Here every week for you on Comics TV, Comics TV, Comics TV.
Hi, and welcome to Comics TV. We're your hosts, Mike and
Steve.
And we're here to bring you another edition of the world of comics. Stay tuned as we bring you everything that we bring you every week, which includes reviews of the hottest books out, previews of the upcoming books, and all kinds of other stuff.
Cards, movies, good stuff.
So, let's kick it off with our normal weekly first feature, which is the comics news. And Steve will start off.
Okay, for my first one, the Venom limited series. There's going to be a fourth limited series. It's going to be called Venom Enemy Within, written by Bob McLeod and Bruce Jones, who just did the last Venom limited series, with a special guest, Morbius the Living Vampire. That's a 3-book series, and this might be Venom's last series of his own. They're not detailing yet.
And real quick before I forget, I have to apologize because past few shows have had camera work done by my girlfriend Robin, and I didn't put her name in the credits. So now her name is in for whatever, anytime we do any of the Comic Fest stuff, because she did most of the filming there. Now, let's see, for those of you who like the independent comic scene, but you can't get enough of it from just comic books alone, there is a magazine for you. It's called Indie Magazine. It's a quarterly magazine devoted to independent publishers. It's recently changed and now includes a price guide, and it will be comic book size. Issue 5 should be on the stands in January, and if you can't find it, check with your local store. They should be able to order it through one of the large distributors.
Cool. Okay, for my last piece of news, Marvel, who owns Fleer, is releasing a 150 card set featuring the X-Men. This is the Ultra X-Men trading cards. They're going to be one of the hottest cards out there. These right here is a promo sheet. And they were done by Ray Lego. I got to meet Ray up in Philadelphia, and he gave me a promo sheet. These are hot. It gives you a little bit of story on the back of what's going to be on them. And on the front, they're gold stamped. All of them are going to be gold stamped. They're going to be a little bit pricey. They figure about $65 a box, but for that kind of collection and that kind of artwork, I think it's definitely worth it. So check them out. They're going to be hitting the stands end of December sometime.
Okay, as mentioned a few weeks back, Cry for Dawn, team of Joe Monks and Joe Linsner, have split up. In an upcoming issue of Indie Magazine, I believe it is issue 4 or issue 5, the two will face off over what created the big split.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
And lastly, Malibu Comics' newest creator-owned line of books will be debuting in January. Bravura, as it is called, was created by 7 of the industry's top talent, including Dan Breton, Howard Chaykin, Stephen Grant, Dan Jurgens, Gil Kane, Walter Simonson, and Jim Starlin. And the first release from this new creative team will be Starlin's book called Breed,
which I preview later.
So it looks like a good set of books, and Malibu has been known for doing this before. They're the ones who gave Image their start. Image started out as a little subsidiary of Malibu, sort of, and look where they are now. So this could be a big thing for these guys. But let's kick off into our weekly comic reviews. This is where we go through, and we broke it down. We got the mainstream and the indie reviews. Steve is going to start off. He's going to give you the mainstream, all the books that are in the mainstream.
Okay, for my first one, I'm going with Sergio Aragon's Gru number 107. It's by Marvel, which I figured. The name of this one is Man of the People, Part 2 of 4. Lettering is by Stan Saki and coloring Tom Luth. This one was pretty good. Gru gets captured and thrown in prison. And he tries to get the prisoners to get an uproar, to break out. And he's looking for his dog, Raffardo. And Raffardo brings him his swords, and they take back the city. The story in this one was okay. The coloring was good because it's very, very bright coloring. I'll tell you right now, it's very inked. They had a lot of reds, blues, yellows, but it's very good. The cover on this one was good, and the overall story of total everything in this one is fairly good. It wasn't excellent, but for Gru books, I like it. Sergio Agone does a lot of the Mad magazines and that, and those are black and whites, but this one was good. I give it about a 1.5 on the rating scale out of 3. So for my second one, this one's a good one. Punisher Suicide Run #1 for $2.95 from Marvel. As you can see, it's a chrome cover, very reflective, very nice. Chuck Dixon, Gary Kupowitz, Joe Andretti, and Janice Chung do the artwork, lettering, coloring, and publishing. All the fun stuff. Final storyline for the old Punisher, or is it? Frank and Micro are set out to destroy the whole mob. This one has everyone in it that from years back, Jigsaw, all his old enemies, a lot of new toys from Micro, and a lot of explosives. The cover on this one was excellent. The color was excellent. The story was good, and the total outcome, I'm giving this one a question mark because I am not sure what is going to happen. Rumor has it he's going to get killed, but I don't think so. We'll have to find out on that one. Okay, third one. Take my head off to this one. Conan the Barbarian, The End, $2.50 from Marvel. It's number 275, the final chapter. Conan finally ends his reign, and he's not happy about it at all. It is a story. In this story, there are so many twists, and I mean, it's tough to actually figure out what's going on. He's trying to join a new tribe out in the desert, and I think there could be a new series of Conan coming out after this one. I don't know. I don't think he didn't die in this one, but they're ending the series, so I think something special is coming up in this series. The cover was good. The artwork was fairly good. The story was interesting, but the overall rating on this one, I gave it good. It was a little lax on explaining what was going to happen, but I gave it a good rating anyways. For my last and final one of this week, The Demon, number 42 from DC. This story takes Etrigan to a church to find the Choir Boy Commandos. I show you guys a picture of the Choir Boy Commandos because they are hilarious in plain English. Right here. They are hilarious. These guys throw gold-plated blessed axes, candle holders shaped like daggers that are crosses. They're hilarious. Well, Etrigan ends up fighting them. He burns some of them, destroys some of them. He's out to find Hell's Hitman to destroy him before he destroys the world. The cover was bad. I didn't like the cover. The cover was okay. The story was okay. But the overall outlook on this one, I am going to pick up the next issue just to see how it continues, because this one, I was laughing reading it. There's a lot of puns in it, a lot of funny jokes. I don't know if you really want to spend the $1.75 for it, because if you don't follow the series, you probably won't. But if somebody's out just to try a new series, give it a try. It's different.
All right. And that is the end of Steve's mainstream reviews.
Mainstreams.
Now, I'm going to kick off the independent small press review, like I always do. I'm going to start off with a COMX-TV exclusive. This is from Michael Nino in Columbus, Ohio. He puts out a bunch of different small press books like what you see here, the Get a Lives. It's printed on cardstock, which makes it a little difficult. It's a little too thick, I think. But the Get a Lives is a nicely drawn book about a married couple who worship Alex Trebek and Jeopardy, and basically they need to get a life, just like it says. They have no life. They wait for the mailman to come, and all kinds of stuff like that.
What's wrong with that?
It's sort of like Steve's life.
I sit by the mailbox and wait for your letters.
Let's see. He also puts out a book called Strong Man Meets Mr. Ferret. This one's a lot sketchier, and it's not as good as the Get a Life. The story is kind of stupid when it starts out, but by the end of the second issue, it's pretty good. The Get a Life's I liked, and I think for 50 cents, it's not a bad book, and it's worth checking out. My second one this week is from, let's see, what is it?
Yeah, who's it from?
Okay.
Strange Attractors.
By Mark Sherman and Michael Cohen. It's called Strange Attractors #2, and I previewed this one a couple weeks back. They split the writing duties. Cohen does the art, and Sherman does the lettering. It's a very good science fiction black and white story. There's no zipatone in this, which means all the backgrounds, all the different shading is all done by pen and ink. There is no zipatone where they just lay it in there and put in the different layers of grays. Sophie is a caretaker for the Museum of Lost Artifacts. She falls in love with a guy who ends up leaving her when he finds out who her best friend is. And he marries the best friend. Well, there's a couple interesting twists in there. And it's a good futuristic book. It's got some comedy in it. Sophie reads comic books.
Cool.
And
did you watch COMX-TV?
I believe it was mentioned in there, yes.
Cool.
I definitely recommend this one. It's $2.50 and it's available through Advance Comics. So take a look through their catalog, and you should be able to pick this one up. The next one I've got is Underdog #2. This is from Harvey Classics. This is a good book for the kids. There's large lettering, short, cute stories, typical Underdog, clean, good fun that any kid would like. Now, there's a reader's art page where people that send in art can get it printed up. There's one long story that's split up into like 3 different parts, 3 different chapters, and then there's a short story in the back. It's $1.50, and it's worth it for the kids or for the kid in you. Underdog's a good, clean book. And my last one this week is The Children's Crusade #1 of 2 by Neil Gaiman and Chris Bachalo. This is from DC Vertigo, and they call it a Vertigo event. In other words, this is a crossover.
Another crossover.
It's boiled down to just that. I mean, they try to call it something else, but it's a crossover. What it is this Children's Crusade involves all of the children through the Vertigo titles. There's 2 parts, and in between all the annuals from the Vertigo titles, we'll have a section of the story in it. So there's like 7 parts, 8 parts of the story. It's pretty good. The story centers around 2 characters from an old Sandman tale who are detectives in this story. They're 2 kids, and they're detectives. They're both dead.
I'm doing my Vanna White impression.
Get out of here, Vanna. Let's see. The children of Flaxdown, they've all vanished. Woo. They've all disappeared, and nobody knows where they went, so this one girl hires these 2 detectives who are dead, she doesn't know that, to find her brother. So, let's see. The art is realistic at times, and it's magical at other times. There's 50 pages of story. It's $3.95. It's an excellent buy. If you want to catch the rest of the story, you must get all the Vertigo annuals.
So, that could get expensive.
Yes, it could get expensive.
Very expensive, especially because DC Verticos do sell for a bit pricey.
Yeah.
At like $4.95. Go.
All right, and that was our previews, or our reviews.
Yeah, those are reviews.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm previewing something else. Normally, we would now have Classic Comics, which is where we pick a comic from the past, and we show you what it is, what it's worth now. But we have some stuff in the works that we can't yet disclose. That we might have somebody coming on board that's going to actually do that whole bit for us. So you stay tuned here because COMX-TV is getting bigger and better.
Okay, for our next segment of the show, we have our weekly previews. This is our up and coming, what we feel maybe you should check out. If we get them, we review them later on. Check them out. I'm going to start this one, and for my first one, from Dark Horse, X finally has his own series. From the pages of the Ultraverse, Ultra Universe. The X finally has his own series. The mutated hero faces unbelievable enemies. It's 32 pages of color, $2 US, $2.70 Canadian. February 1st is the first issue, 1994.
All right. Okay, my first pick this week is Black Mist #1 from Caliber Press. Germany, 1918. A prisoner of war subjected to an atrocious experiment and presumed dead awakens. He claws his way to freedom. The Germans whisper of a creature who emerges from the dark haze and preys on the retreating German forces. Writer James Pruitt provides the story, and artist Vito Kahaifa provides the mood.
Ooh.
It's $2.95. It's black and white, out in January. It sounds like a very interesting tale.
Sounds good. Sounds scary.
Yes.
I like it. Okay, for my second one, I'm going with version number 2.6 from Dark Horse for $2.50. Hep and Erik have survived the destruction of undersea lab Black Tokyo, but were they rescued by the sentient biochips EGOS? Now,
What the heck are you talking about?
I reviewed version 1.6 about 3 weeks ago, and it was pretty good. There was a four-part series that they only called it 1.6. All of them had it. It was a pretty good series, but this one is a continuation. You thought it ended there. They thought the microchip sunk, but now they're wondering, were they saved by this microchip that tried to destroy them? This is December 19th release, and I'm going to try and get it and review it.
All right. And my last one, and the previews this week, is MCS Press
Ding, ding!
provides my second pick, which is Rook #1. It's a black and white book by Bob McSherry and Jim McSherry. Obviously, they're related somehow. America's newest and best-dressed hero stars in this one-shot action adventure, complete with black humor and the tradition of Die Hard. Rook battles the menace of the dealer in Houston, Texas. Could be a drug dealer.
Could be an arms dealer.
Could be
Body part dealer.
body part dealer, yes. Each book comes signed and numbered. It's $2.25, and it will be out in January. And that's it for my preview this week.
Cool.
So we will kick off our convention mentions, which we may be ending shortly, because as we've stated before, we've been trying to be fair. We've been contacting the local promoters, and nobody wants to get back to us and inform us when their shows are. So why tell anybody when their shows are and help them out?
Basically.
So, I mean,
we're trying to help them out, and they want nothing to do with us.
So we'll give you the next few shows coming up for the next couple weeks, and after that we'll see.
Okay. November 21st in Fredonia at the Masonic Lodge, 321 East Main. He was waiting for me to say lounge again.
Okay, November 28th at the American Legion Post on Buffalo Avenue in Niagara Falls, there will be another show. December 1st at Amvest Post number 26, 600 Ward Road in North Tonawanda. There will also be a show, as they have the show about once a month there. So it's not the greatest show, but it's worth taking a look at.
It's a show. It's something to check out.
And there's not
and a big show happening in Toronto the weekend of December 4th and 5th, which includes many guests, dealers, and attractions. This could be a little Philadelphia convention, basically.
It's like a mini comic fest.
Me and Mike are going to go up and check it out, try and get some live coverage with some of the wonderful artists. And
it's going to be, I guess there's quite a few Marvel writers and artists that live in the Toronto area. They're going to be attending this show.
Could be interesting.
And there's going to be quite a few people we're going to try.
In Philadelphia, we got a lot of the smaller press people, and now we'll hit some of the bigger ones and try and mix them in every week.
So that wraps up this portion of the show. We're going to end the show after Steve gives our ending. We're going to end it with another interview from our Comic Fest trip. It'll be one of the many interviews we got. Another small press one, just something to take a look at while the credits roll. You know, maybe you can check out one of their books.
Yeah. Okay. So, as I say every week, when you patronize your local comic shop, buy a comic, read it. Don't throw it on a shelf. Don't throw it in a bag. Don't let your mom hit it with a vacuum cleaner. Read it. And until next week, This is, how the heck, what am I saying here? Until next week, see you next week on COMX-TV. See ya.
This is Mike, and we're going to be doing an interview with Dave CJ Bunn from One Shot Press. As you remember, a while back we did a preview of most of the One Shot material. As you remember, or if you remember, here's the Philistine, which is out now. This was one of the, we had a advanced preview copy of the Philistine. So, how you doing, Dave?
Pretty good. How you doing, Mike?
Good. So, how's sales on the Philistine?
Sales on the Philistine have been phenomenal. This is a separate entity from anything One Shot Press has done. We ran across Mike Mangelo, who's the writer, and Mike Sattel and Ken Grenier at a convention, and they were trying to get Dark Horse to publish them. Dark Horse refused, and their loss is our gain. Our advanced sales on the Philistine topped 3,000, and we had to actually up our print run to have extra issues for conventions. We upped it to 4,500, which is our largest run to date.
Right. How are the Jolting Tales doing?
Jolting Tales is doing well. We've had a small cult following since we started, and every issue we solicit for, the sales go higher and higher. Everybody that reads it, I get people coming back that they want more. We can't put them out fast enough is the problem. I've got a fan in Connecticut named Kevin Roy who does dioramas of the characters and the scenes and brings them to me at shows and gives them to me. He's done figures of all my characters. He's done a really interesting diorama of the Arlington Hammer character in the sewer pipe here. He actually built the whole scene, complete with the sewer pipe, the rotted tire over in the corner, and he's got the sewer grating torn off. It's great. The kid's wild. I wish I had it with me to show you.
These are covers up here of the upcoming Jolting Tales, right?
Yeah, the upcoming issue 4 has been split in 2 parts because the books have gone from 40 pages to 48 pages to 56 pages. They were getting so big we were losing money. But part A is with the Spider-Man parody cover, and that's going to contain 3 stories, one of which is the Commander Zero story, the conclusion from Jolting Tales number 3. That'll also contain a story by Elena Steer called Family Reunion, which is about a family that they're readying for a family reunion, and then down the road the graveyard is erupting with zombies. Of course, the conclusion of the story is the zombies are relatives that are coming to the family reunion. But Elaine is our newest find. She did the cover on Midnight's Quickies, which is our fan magazine, and she used to be Arnie Starr's assistant on the Star Trek series. She's had her first published work with One Shot Press, working solo. This is one of her first stories, Hunters. She has an incredible illustrative style, and this is something she did years ago. She's come a long way from this. The stuff she's done in Family Reunion very closely resembles Ghastly Graham Ingalls' work from the original EC comics.
And overall, the One Shot's doing well?
Overall, One Shot's paying the bills and is starting to pick up. With the Philistine, I can see us going into actually a profit margin, and with any luck at all, within a couple of years, we'll, be another Valiant. Who knows? I've also talked with Kevin Eastman from the Turtles and Peter Laird, who personally critiqued our issue 2 of Jolting Tales for me, and there's a possibility of us crossing the Turtles into our Arlington Hammer storyline. Arlington Hammer is our leather-wearing, Harley-riding, vampire-hunting vampire out of New York. One that's your favorite.
And then any last words?
Yeah, buy our book or I'll shoot your dog. No, we've got some other products on the market. We have the laser holographic prism card set. Did you preview that? Great. And the newest addition to the Jolting Tales product line is the Captain Jolly life-size porcelain skulls. Each one signed on the bottom and numbered by the artist that produces them. They're done by Debbie, who works with Debray Industries in Enfield, Connecticut. And of course, we have our obligatory T-shirt line, and we have the Midnight poster out. Thank you for the exposure. I can use all the exposure I can get, and I'm always happy to expose myself.
June.